Jonathan Gannon gives Kyler Murray a vote of confidence to reign QB1 of this team. But does that mean he makes the start this upcoming week against the Green Bay Packers? And more fallout, Johnny, from the 4 straight loss at the hands of the Colts.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the remaining schedule, just how many wins and how many losses are the Redbirds on deck for, when and where heads will roll. PHNX Cardinals, Bo, starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Brack. Noah Man here on a big L. 4 in a row loser Monday as our precious Redbirds are in the midst of a nightmare season, Bo. But how are you today on this fine Monday?
I'm doing well, being elevated by the diehards, the supporters in the chat, just lighting it up with those emojis, the Johnny Chugs, the lives, the HTLs. I love it. I love to see the Cardinals faithful come out, win or lose, but you're right. It's the worst version of Groundhog Day. 4 consecutive losses. This episode of PHNX Cardinals, as always, brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. That's right. Bet365 must be 21 and physically located in Arizona. If you're someone knows has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text next step to 53342 and visit problemgambling.az.gov.
Does Bet365, can they help me with the Cardinals being ass as of the last month? Is there a helpline I can call to talk? Oh, wait, that's this show. And this is Cardinals Therapy Talk each and every day, 4:30 Arizona time. Listen, we're going to get into it. I feel like we touched on it yesterday on the post-game show, the quarterback controversy. I don't want to start there, though, if I could.
I feel like we touched on it?
Yeah, I feel like we did.
I mean, we acknowledge it, the gigantic elephant in the room, the quarterback controversy. Yeah, did we hit that?
Yeah, we touched on it. And there facts and information are coming out, and people are breaking down the film, and it's good if your name's Jacoby Brissett. Here's where I'm at with this. This team they lose too many games. And so I tried to echo this on the postgame show, and I feel like we're on the same page with this. It's just like a quarterback controversy is something I'll entertain if you're Ken Wisenhunt and your first year as a head coach and you're trying to figure out, like, can Matt Leinart play? It's like, no, Kurt Warner's actually really good. And so we're going to, rotate him, but we know deep down Kurt Warner's good. Like, that's a QB controversy, right? The Cardinals at 2-4, 0-2 against not only their own division, but the AFC South. You can flush your quarterback controversy down the toilet. That's what it is. It's toilet water to me. Because in the grand scheme of things, you're the only team in the NFC West, not only that doesn't have a divisional win, but doesn't have 4 wins. Everybody else in this division has 4 wins. So, we're going to talk about it, and I think it's a good conversation to have as it relates to, the future of Kyler Murray, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals, and I put this on Twitter, in their last 62 games as a franchise, are 19-43. Now, that's not all Jonathan Gannon, but man, oh man, I would love to have this conversation. I don't know, on a Victory Monday. They're right now. It's it's white noise to me. I understand it's important to talk about for the grand scheme of the Arizona Cardinals, but man, they're just losing too many games right now for me to be like, oh yeah, let's really stir the pot. Jacoby Brissett, let's go.
Right. No, I mean, it's no matter who's under center in the shotgun for the Arizona Cardinals, it's far too often resulting in a loss. Now, did the offense play better? Did it look the best it's looked in 2025? No doubt about it. An emphatic yes. The offense, I felt like did its part yesterday, and then it fell short, as far as the overall team and the defense in the fourth quarter yet again. And once again came away with a hard luck loss. And like those pile up on each other. And as far as like getting the benefit of the doubt, like that's kind of run out when you look at a kind of a jarring number. And I'm just going to assume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that 62 games, is that post 2021? Is that since then?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was in the week 18. I remember this date. We had a tailgate as a company. It was the first year PHNX Sports was up and about, up and around. Week 14, we were downtown Glendale. I think we were at the Lola.
This includes 2021. This is when they started.
No. This is in the midst of the collapse in 2021. So I'm including that. So maybe that's not fair. But yeah. The ending of 2021, they lost the game. I think it was on Monday Night Football to the Rams at home that would have locked up the NFC West. Mm-hmm. They went 1-4 down the stretch. They blew the NFC West. And then they got boat raced by the Rams in the playoffs. But yeah, they were 1-4 to end that year. Then back-to-back seasons of 4-13. Then 8-9 last year. And now they're a big fat 2-4. So, I mean, it's just a lot of losing. And it's really tough because I thought at the end of last year, even with the collapse, it's like, okay, give them better players, give them better personnel, let them cook, one more offseason. Let's see what the 2024 draft class can do in year 2. And there were so many reasons, Bo, to buy them as a stock, right? Kyler Murray, another year in the system, and they have gone backwards. And it's not just a Kyler Murray problem. It's an organizational problem where the draft picks aren't popping, too reliant on some old D-tackle free agents. We'll talk about that. I think too much complacency. We're going to talk about the optics of Jonathan Gannon losing to a head coach that has now been fired 8 days later. I mean, they're just, the optics right now are as bad as you can get. And again, nothing's going to remedy that until they start stacking W's. And I don't know how many more are coming this year.
Right. And you felt that same way at this time last year, but like who has the confidence that they're going to be able to pull off a similar run where they rip off 4 straight games to, get themselves to 6-4. Like that just seems like such a Herculean effort or battle that, is this team equipped to do it? Nothing points to them doing so. And it's like, what's the old adage? It's like you lose by a lot, then you lose by a little, then you win by a little, you win by a lot. And we're not seeing that play out in real time for the Arizona Cardinals. And I don't know if there's enough patience, especially when you take in context how the losses come, who the losses come to, that they can be given the benefit of the doubt to get over that barrier if they even are capable of doing so. Like this team overall, like we tip the cap to them the entirety of the 2023 season for being scrappy, being competitive, playing above what they had on their roster. And then, the next season we give them credit for putting themselves in the thick of a playoff chase in December and playing meaningful games, and then coming up short with an epic collapse of its own right, and then coming out of the gates slow yet again. It's just like fool me once, fool me twice type situation. Like, can this team, it just hasn't been able to find a way to finish games. It's just they've had tough luck loss after tough luck loss. Like we thought with improved personnel, with what we viewed as good coaching, that the wins would just naturally come, and they're not. They're finding new ways and actually regressing as far as what looked to be a disciplined team that was going to play mistake-free football and just continue to shoot itself in the foot and find different ways to take DL week in and week out.
I want to go on the record. I don't think Jonathan Gannon should be fired as of the recording of this podcast on October 13th. I don't think he'll be fired. But I do think, if I just told you the optics, if you did a blind resume, third-year head coach is, 2-4 to start a pivotal season in which they have to have a winning record, make the playoffs, loses to his old coordinator counterpart, the quarterback that they have put all their eggs in their basket looks inferior to the backup, and then his side of the ball that he specializes in has been collapsing every fourth quarter, and it was non-competitive for much of the game on Sunday. It's not a good resume. It's not, and being 0-2 in the NFC West, which is the most important thing, you are who your divisional rivals are. So I'm disappointed we're in this spot. I can tell, Bo, when Jonathan Gannon speaks now, like and you kind of felt that today, like there's nothing he can say at this point.
Right.
Whether it comes back from, outside of like, I'm sticking with Kyler Murray and we're going to wait to see actions, follow that. But Benjamin Albright said they're going to stick with him. And I believe that. I think Kyler Murray's going to play again. But like sitting here and like talking about, hey, the guys, they're in good spirits. They're not in good spirits. Like the season is slipping away. You had a season, you had an aspiration season of winning double-digit games, making the playoffs. Everybody's extended. Now it's like you're going to face, depending on how you guys choose to end this, an off season of uncertainty. And it really is just, you're living week to week, not for the playoffs. You're living week to week of like, how many people are going to remain gainfully employed as a member of this organization in January? Because it's like, I expect both Austin Ford and Gannon to be back. I think it would be a mistake to pivot off them. If you look at some of the names that are being floated out right now, like Mike Kafka is still in the rotation. Like the names aren't great. Doesn't mean that they're not going to work out, but like, I don't love what I'm seeing. I would rather go with Gannon. But like, if you're Michael Bidwell and you're talking about season ticket increases and new complexes and everything, it's like you have to be able to sell a product from January to August of something that people are excited about, that they have hopes and aspirations for. And maybe, Bo, and this comes full circle to the show topic today, maybe a new quarterback would be enough to drive that. Maybe if you just say, Gannon, Austin Ford, go get somebody in the draft that's your guy hand selected, I think that's what they end up doing, honestly.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways and things it looks like, right? I mean, you can look at what's going on in New York, and that's more of a reset, right? Where you're going with a rookie signal caller and you're going to give them a little bit of grace, where I don't think they have the luxury of that. So where they would have to probably go the route of a Seattle, where, the rest of the roster is in pretty decent shape. And then you put the offense in the hands of a veteran quarterback. It's just, that all the teams that feel like they're just a quarterback away are going to be vying for those services, and it's going to be tough to, separate yourself outside of just paying top dollar.
Right.
Those are conversations that absolutely can be had and will be had if the struggles continue and the losses continue to pile up. So, but when you think about just how the brain trust or the powers that be that are in place right now, like what changes can they make when you look at what they did to the defense this offseason, and then you suffer a loss like you did yesterday. Like even that you can't point to and say, well, there's something that we feel like confident moving forward, like is at an operating at a level like where we feel confident in it. It's like there's no area where you're just like, hey, this is going well in year 3. This is where it needs to be. But if you look at where the changes are going to probably be forced to be made, it's on what's been viewed as the biggest downfall so far of 2025, and that's the offense. And who usually wears that burden? It's the play caller, it's the quarterback. There's no denying that. Like Kyler Murray said that himself. He understands that part of the job. So, like you can come up, you can conjure, whatever you want as far as what happened, what went wrong, what wasn't done, who wasn't put in a position for success. But the results are going to be what they are. And there's going to be a request for change. And the Cardinals are going to have to, if people want to keep their jobs, they're going to have to oblige.
I mean, like whatever way you want to look at it, when a backup quarterback who's a journeyman, we like him. We like Jacoby Brissett a lot. Love the signing. When a backup quarterback comes in and is infinitely better in terms of a one-game optic than the starter has been, and that's not an indictment. Kyler Murray's been bad, right? He wasn't Russell Wilson, but the leaps and bounds in production in the passing game and points per game in general were so much better and at a higher level with Jacoby Brissett. That's an indictment on everybody. It's not just a potential indictment on Kyler Murray. It's an indictment on the coaching staff. We've got a very damning bite, I think, of Jonathan Gannon, I don't think he meant it this way, but they said they tailored his approach in this game a little bit more for Jacoby Brissett. Do we have that bite, Noah, man?
We do. Yeah, we do. We've got that from Gannon. He said that about Brissett and just kind of tailoring the offense to it, or scheme here.
Or are they two different quarterbacks? You know what I mean? I just wonder why the offense looked so different with Jacoby at times on Sunday.
Well, I think too. It's a good question. Like that defense plays a little different than all the other games, you know, and Green Bay is going to play different than them, so that lends its hand. But you know, obviously we tailored a little bit the scheme going into this week with, you know, the possibility of Jacoby starting, I would say. So we kind of had that up. I thought it was a good job by Drew and his staff to make sure that we're putting Jacoby, it's just like all our guys, make sure that we're putting Jacoby in spots that, you know, he does well with. And I thought we did that.
I mean, like indirectly or directly, what you're saying with this is Kyler Murray can't throw the football downfield. Or you don't feel comfortable with him doing it, or you've asked him to do it and he can't do it, or he doesn't want to do it. Like, I'm at that point now. And if you're Jonathan Gannon and you're Drew Petzing and you're coaching for your job and you saw the difference in production yesterday, it's like, what are we even doing? Now, why I think it's an indictment of coaching is like, if you thought that this couldn't happen, if you thought that your offense was going to be so stagnant with him as a passer of the football, then why weren't you in on Sam Darnold? Why didn't you trade away Kyler Murray? Why didn't you try to pivot this offseason? You had cachet. You had momentum. But you could have said, well, Geno Smith got traded and Kyler Murray had 17 passing touchdowns going to the finale. But you told everybody, you're like, this is the guy. Jonathan Gannon told us on set at Kyler Murray's softball game, like, he's going to have a monster year. Mm-hmm. So you either didn't tailor the offense well enough for him, or you clearly don't think he can operate from the pocket, and the big plays outside the pocket are few and far between now. Whatever it is, you made a series of mistakes this offseason. Like, Kyler Murray is going to show up and work hard and collect checks and try to win. And like, that was going to happen regardless, right? And I'm not putting this on Kyler Murray, the person, the human being. He works hard. But like, if your job as a coach is to sense that this is not a good fit, well, what we want to do, I want to play a certain way. I'm Drew Petzing. I'm Jonathan Gannon. I'm Monty Ossenford. We're building a team this way. If he does not fit what you want to do,
right?
What? Move off of him. Find a trade partner in the offseason. Now we're in this period where Clayton Adams leaves. Petzing's been exposed. They can't scheme up the run game. Kyler Murray looks average on most Sundays, right? Pretty good to average. The minute that the backup comes in, he has an infinitely better game than Kyler Murray has had throwing the football in like 10 plus starts. It's like, what are we doing, guys? I don't care what he says. I believe Kyler Murray will probably play again for sure. But like the optics of this go back to the approach of like, do you guys know what you're doing?
Right. Well, look, I mean, you lose 4 straight, no matter how whatever you say is not going to be well received. That's just the reality of it, right? But as far as the offense goes, like if a basketball analogy, like with Kyler Murray, it's like every shot you want your offense to take is a layup, right? You're settling for 2 points every time down the court, where when you get Jacoby Brissett in there, and it was undeniable what he was able to do down the field, it's like he's raining threes. And you've got that advantage, and you're playing, and you're giving your quarterback a shot to make plays down the field. And it's like when you go back to the very first appearance from the Cardinals head coach, Jonathan Gannon, what he wanted to do offensively was pew, pew, pew shots, explosives. And we've gotten far from that as far as the Cardinals starting offense that has Kyler Murray, that has Marvin Harrison Jr., that has Trey McBride. And just from that clip, you're saying, well, we tailored it to fit Jacoby's strength or his skill set more so, and we felt more comfortable with him throwing the ball down the field, where what we've seen the previous 5 games, we haven't seen that. I mean, put it out there today. You look at Jacoby Brissett's passing chart. He had 7 big play passes. That means 20-plus yards passing plays. He had 7. The previous 5 games, the Cardinals offense combined had 7. And we got 14. They doubled up in one game with Jacoby Brissett under center, which he spent more time under center. I see Jalen Blair in the chat, just like Tyler Drake pointing out, Deo Mackey quote tweeting it, how much they play action with Jacoby. and it equaled nearly the amount that Kyler Murray had play action the entire season. It was just there was
completely different.
There was a completely different approach as far as setting up, the success of throwing the football downfield. But then Jacoby Brissett also, like a tip of the cap, he got it done. Like he surveyed, he went through his reads properly.
Unbelievable.
And he made great throws for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, I think Kyler Murray can succeed in the NFL because we've seen it before. But we've talked about it. You have to lean into what he does well, his physical traits. They have not tailored this offense to Kyler Murray, or Kyler Murray can't respond now post ACL. One of those things, maybe it's in the middle, but Kyler Murray, his last time he looked like what Jacoby Brissett looked like yesterday, it was before his injury. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not in the Cardinals facility. I don't know how they operate. I don't know their playbook, but here's what I do know. They've had their hands on Kyler Murray for 3 off seasons and now almost 2 full seasons of play. And it's never looked like it did yesterday, ever. Jacoby Brissett seamlessly got to 300 yards passing. If he doesn't throw that terrible interception, and if Trey McBride isn't held, he might have 3 or 4 passing touchdowns yesterday.
Right.
I don't care. And that's where I come back to
plays over 20 yards.
Yes, they were ripping it downfield.
Those are chunk yardage plays where, like I said, Kyler had 7 combined in 5 games.
It was a stark difference.
Yeah.
You can't argue that. It's a stark difference. Now, guys, I'm not sitting here and saying Jacoby's the answer and that Kyler Murray, we're going to cast him off. But it makes me question if they know what they're doing with this whole operation. I question, you go into a season with Kyler Murray thinking you're going to win games with a pop gun offense, throwing it for 3 to 5 yards a completion behind the line of scrimmage. But maybe they were pissing their pants and saying, well, we don't have a taker for him. We don't know what to do. We can't find somebody that mirrors what we want in this offense. Guess who gets it done when they feel like they have to? The Eagles general manager, the Seattle Seahawks general manager this offseason, GMs that are going to the flipping Hall of Fame. That's what you're competing against. They went the most conservative route this offseason, where they stuck with Kyler Murray, where they clearly can't function with K1 right now. It's not a fit. You can't argue that. This is just not a fit right now. And they let their best position coach on the team and their best offensive coach leave via promotion somewhere else. They have made a series of, if anybody wants to know, why are the Cardinals 2-4? They have made a series of offensive gaffes this offseason that right now do not look like there's any remedy in sight. I'm with you, Bo. You posted a great breakdown on Twitter. Jacoby Brissett's next game after a breakout game, he usually levels off a little bit.
Right.
And that's what I'm expecting. Jacoby Brissett, it's a great backup. You did enough to win yesterday. It's not good optics. The game.
Not Kurt Warner 2.0. It's not. No. It's not having a renaissance at 32. Kurt had it at 34. He's not suddenly going to just be this unbelievable passer that just goes for 300 every other week.
If you're Drew and you're Jonathan and you're Monty, and you got here and you thought to yourself, this is not a good fit. Not we can make it work forever. You should have been we can make it work until the time is right to strike. Last year should have been the indicator. If this was Kyler Murray didn't have a game last year outside of Miami that looked anything like that yesterday. It's a damning indictment of everybody involved. And again, I think Kyler Murray could go somewhere else if the offense is tailored to him and have success. And I know a lot of people are freaking out about that today. Why didn't Drew tailor the offense to Kyler Murray? I don't know. I don't know why they didn't.
It was always said that it was.
It's not, though. We know that now. It's not. If it is, it's not.
You can go through. You can. There's receipts that they were tailoring the offense to the strengths of the quarterback.
But it's not. But what
I understand that. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you that. As we sit here,
it's a bad product they created. No, I agree with you.
Right.
I've heard them say that.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to what they wanted to do yesterday. And give Drew Petzing credit, it worked. But it's but Drew, you weren't supposed to make it work with Jacoby Brissett only. Your job, your livelihood is tied to Kyler Murray scoring touchdowns, throwing touchdowns, making this offense work. And if you didn't think he could do that, should have gone to everybody and been guys, we have a big problem. I can't do it with this player. This whole thing is just effed. They've effed this whole thing up. I want to swear. I have 35 more minutes before I can swear.
Just holster that. Look, we're going to holster this. We're going to hear from Jonathan Gannon. He doubles, triples down on Kyler Murray remaining the starting quarterback. But when's the next time we're going to see K1? We're going to get into that conversation next year on PHNX Cardinals.
I'll tell you what's not an F is a big flippin' A is our friends at Circle K, man. I've never needed it more. Right now, Circle K, they're doing it right. The Cardinals may be a loser right now. Circle K, they're winners with their meal deal matrix right now. I always talk about the meal deal matrix, but I'm also going to let you know they have some drink deals that are absolutely unbelievable. How about $1.50 large coffee? I don't remember the last time I spent $1.50 on anything, right? Maybe $10.50.
Yeah.
$1.50. And guess what? It's got pumpkin flavor, maple pumpkin. Let's go. Limited time offer. They also have 2 get 1 free Monster and 2 get 1 free Red Bull. I'm going to tell you right now, we're in a tough time economically in this country. Everything's expensive. Can't feed your family. I'm sympathetic to that. I'm going to tell you right now, look to Circle K. It's just like, hey, I need to go run out. I need to get cheap gas. I need to get cheap groceries. I need a meal. How about a $3, $4, or $5 meal deal matrix right now? Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply, Bo. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for more details.
Circle K is so elite. Mack Weldon also, if you watch the post-game show, you saw some real fashionable duds worn by the hosts of this show, and that's thanks to our friends over at Mack Weldon. They've been at it for a while now. They've been creating comfortable, unbelievable wear that you're going to love all summer long, all fall long, all winter long. There's a great bunch of clothes for you for any season. Clothes that are breathable, pieces that feel just like, how about vacation? That's a great way to put it, right? That sounds comfortable. Check out MackWeldon.com. Get 25% off your first order of $125 or more with the promo code PHNX. They look like regular clothes, but man, they've got that modern comfort that everybody's looking for. 10 years, Mack Weldon has designed timeless, innovative menswear to help you move through your day with confidence. Whether you're going to work, going to the gym, you're going out, Mack Weldon's got you hanging in nice, comfortable clothing, including the underwear, which is elite. MackWeldon.com, MackWeldon.com, promo code PHNX.
Undies, a.k.a. Grundies. Have you heard that term? That gets thrown out a lot at our house, Grundies. Gray undies. All right, hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. It's a tough time to be a Cardinal fan right now because you feel like just not a lot of direction. Let's look to the head coach, Bo. What did he have to say following the team's 4th straight loss on a football Monday?
Yeah, let's get into just as far as staying confident. You've got, well, how about just Kyler Murray and his status?
No, when he's out there ready to play, he'll play.
Real short and sweet right there. One last thing about his takeaways and Jacoby Brissett's performance on Sunday.
Yeah, a little bit of play type, how Drew called it a little bit of what they were doing, But I thought he showed really good poise, really good command, made a couple plays with his legs, sat in there and threw the ball to the open guy. Takes all 11 to do that. So there's some really good execution, all 11, some of those plays that showed up.
Here's where I'm at with this. Do I think Kyler Murray plays again this season? Yes. I think he starts either this Sunday or Monday Night Football against the Cowboys after the bye. I think if Jacoby Brissett had won that game yesterday, game-throwing touchdown, played well this weekend, I think you probably have a little bit more of a conversation to be had. But I don't know. Do you feel like if you were to sit Kyler Murray and bench Kyler Murray or ride the hot hand, the optics of that with Kyler and his people and his family and his trade value, like they're almost in both like a no-win situation. The only way to get out of this was to start stacking wins. They're going to be an underdog indefinitely, and they're going to not only do they have to win, they have to win with Kyler Murray. So I think right now it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like I expect, like when Kyler Murray plays, do I expect it to look different than it did from earlier this season? No. This is what it is. We're getting about 200 to 220 total yards, maybe 250 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and, some inconsistent play. Just like I think that's probably what you're going to get from Jacoby moving forward. Like, I don't know, man. Like this whole thing to me just screams like, trying to figure out who the captain is of a sinking ship. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, it's really going to be fascinating how they deploy Kyler Murray in practice this week, because they made it look like he was close, and that could have been smokescreen given what the report was from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, what this injury was and the risk of just really getting out there and throwing and playing and running like we saw him at the very least do during the open portion of practice on Friday. Are they going to scale it back? Like, that's what I'm interested to see come Wednesday. Is Kyler Murray going to go back out there on Wednesday in practice and try to prepare to take on the Green Bay Packers on Sunday? Or did the performance from Jacoby Brissett maybe feel like they could scale it back just a little bit, reevaluate some things as far as the quarterback position? That's what I want to see. It's not like we didn't get an answer as far as that goes, because at the very beginning of the press conference, Gannon said that they were still evaluating all their injured players, and they really weren't going to have any kind of info as far as it pertains to those guys. And that includes Kyler Murray. Are they going to practice him on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? He's going to be limited, and then he's going to be inactive again on Sunday.
Yes.
Or is he going to be a guy that has a very real chance to play? And is the player himself going to try to force the issue because what he witnessed right in front of his very eyes on Sunday and saw this offense humming for the first time this year with somebody else under center? Those are two storylines that I think you can't overlook. Like, is Kyler going to try to force the issue, or is the team going to just say, hey, look, it just benefits us for you to slow play your recovery in this. We've got the bye week, and Jacoby was playing lights out on Sunday outside of the misfire on the final play offensively on Sunday.
I think you're going to get a limited K1. I think it's going to go down exactly how you said. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, limited Kyler Murray, inactive again. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to start this week. And then you'll have 2 weeks off. Really, I think it's 15 days off where we don't have to look at this team. And they're going to have to decide, what the next step is. But listen, Jacoby Brissett looks bad this weekend, throws picks, and it's an indictment on everybody. And with a player as inconsistent, love him as a human, as inconsistent as Jacoby is, they're going to put Kyler Murray back in at some point. I think, for me, just the bigger quandary right now is how many wins is this team going to end up with, and how many do they need to save their jobs? That to me is more somebody asked, we had super chat, know if we can bring it up. It's do you re-sign Jacoby Brissett for next year? He's under contract. He signed a 2-year deal. It's Jacoby Brissett's on the team next year. Whereas this whole thing with Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray, for him to be the quarterback into, thank you, Darth Vader, into next year, he's going to have to play well, and they're going to have to win. And because we can't keep doing this whole thing. The fan base is fed up with the coaching and segments of the fan base, the quarterback. You feel like there's no continuity. They don't do anything well. Mm. That's why I'm just so numb to it. But if I'm Michael Wilson, or if I'm Trey McBride, if I'm Zay Jones, and if I'm Marv, I want to be a part of the offense that throws for 300 yards. So I don't, and that's not a knock on Kyler Murray. It just is what it is. If we go into this weekend, Jacoby Brissett throws for 300 yards again, regardless of wins or loss, they're going to be well, I want to be a part of this offense. Why? If you're Michael Wilson, why would you want to be a part of an offense that you're getting 55 yards in 4 or 5 games? It impacts your livelihood. And then again, he loves Kyler Murray. We love K1. He was on this show, Michael Wilson, talking about, he'd do anything for him. But if the coaching staff and Kyler Murray can't come to a common ground for the offense to look like that from yesterday, then Kyler Murray shouldn't play. But but my biggest argument is I feel like if you're Drew Petzing, it's you can run something with Kyler Murray that allows him to at least try to throw over the field. And if he can't do it, then you use that as evidence. But man, right now it's just such a damning situation for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just Jacoby Brissett getting the ball into playmakers' hands and then them running for 20 plus yards for the big plays. It was the bulk of them
in the air.
Yeah, 5 of those were basically 20 yards in the air. Well, one from Bam Knight was taken, I think the bulk of the yardage there, and the other was Elijah Higgins taking an 8-yard pass and taking it 24 yards. So, yeah, I mean, Jacoby was dropping back, surveying the field, standing tall, making the throws. Where I think some of those where you see the pressure in the pocket, give a little bit, because it certainly was yesterday. Like they only gave up one sack, but at the same time, it wasn't like Jacoby Brissett wasn't facing, pass rushers in his face for a lot of the game. Is he was standing in there, or he was maneuvering the pocket, and then he was making those throws when he needed to. And it's like very often, and it's part of Kyler Murray's game and what he's done since he was a kid was he would get out of dodge when pressure was in his face and try to make a play with his legs. So like it just seems like the offense is more well set up for standing in there and firing it away. Like, but are you ever going to be able, like, you can't now at 7 years into his professional career and, playing college ball, high school ball, and before that, like it's ingrained in Kyler Murray. I don't think that's something you can just say, well, just do what Jacoby did and Drew Petzing draw up the same plays. It's not that easy.
To defend Kyler for a second, like I saw Kyler operate well with, an intermediate to prolonged passing game, pre-injury, pre-Drew Petzing. Like I'm not going to act like Kyler Murray, if he looked like this throughout the duration of his career, like he wouldn't be a starter in the NFL. Like he is right now this season, he's an average starter. He's a borderline starter, right? He's anywhere between like 12 to the 25th best quarterback in the NFL. Like, but there are games where you're like, man, Kyler played well. The offense didn't perform. Like for whatever reason it's just not working with Drew and JG and Kyler together. It's just not. Mm-hmm. Here's what I know. I don't really care what the reasons are. I don't, as a fan, want to go backwards. So right. I don't care who you start, but I don't want to go back to the offense of everything is behind the line of scrimmage. Everything is a check down, 3rd and 10 throws that go about 3 to 4 yards. And if you're able to make it work with Kyler Murray, where it looks like yesterday, then play Kyler Murray. I have no dog in this fight. I like both players as individuals. I want them to succeed. Of course I do. Same thing with both. But now that I know that like there's an offensive infrastructure that looks like that, and I'll give Drew Petzing his flowers. I will later on the show and trending up, trending down. It's like we can't go backwards. We're not going backwards. We're going forwards. And if you have to play Kyler Murray again to show everybody that he isn't capable of that, first of all, it's an indictment of you. But at the same time, it's like maybe that's what needs to happen. Because there are people out there who are like, unlike Kyler Murray, let him do what Jacoby did. Okay, then try that. Figure it out. But you're in year 7 and 3rd year with this guy. Time's running out for all of you guys. It just is.
Right. No, I mean, like your immediate future and your ability to find a win, like people are skeptical, like where's the path? Like you got a good Packers team coming into town and a very realistic chance of probably a chance more likely than not that you're 2-5 going into the bye and then having to hit the road coming out of that on Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. And I know the Cowboys just lost to Carolina. Like
right.
It should give you a little hope that they can get the win there. But like you don't think like nothing's set in stone after losing to that Tennessee team that they did a week ago. So I see we got a new supporters emoji in the chat. It's interesting choice by the powers that be to put it in there. I guess it's my head in my hands. Smacking my.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I guess it was me during the watch along after the Cardinals lost their 4th game in a row. There we go.
Do we have any more from JG you want to get to?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. So I have updates on the injuries right around the corner. Plus, I want to talk to Bo. We're going to talk about the Brian Callahan optics of this whole thing, and we're going to go through the rest of the Cardinals schedule. And we're going to talk about how many realistic wins are left for this team right now. So we've got so much show left. Hit that like button. Hit that join button. It's PHNX. Having a blast with everybody despite the disappointing Cardinals. I'll tell you, who never disappoints me. Our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. If you're an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial. I'm a personal Desert Financial member, and I love it. I had a credit union for forever. They always let me down. Desert Financial Credit Union, I'm never leaving. They've got a team of financial experts who are committed to their members and their community, offering financial solutions that make lives better, help you guys achieve your financial goals and dreams. They've got checking accounts, savings, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. Plus, and I didn't get this, I love this, I want this. When you open up a free checking account online, you get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200bow. Get signed up with Desert Financial today.
Love Desert Financial Credit Union, especially when you win big over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They've got, of course, 4 locations in the Valley. Wild Horse Pass, where we were hanging out yesterday, enjoying, at least the casino and the Upper Deck Bar and Grill, all the food and drinks that they had to offer outside of the performance by the team with another L. But like Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Bequeva, Santan Mountain, experience the best that the Valley has to offer. Lounge at either their AAA Force Diamond resorts and let relaxation take charge. Achieve legendary status on the tables, in the sports book, wherever it may be, the slots. They've got them. How about 4,500 of them? Check them out at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement that you're not going to find anywhere else. You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathgila.com for more details. That's playathgila.com for all the details.
Hit that like button, everybody. Let's get this show to 500 likes here on a football Monday. All right, so just a couple injury notes, Bo. As Jonathan Gannon mentioned to you and the rest of the Phoenix media, that should have definitive updates on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I think Darius plays this weekend. Based off a couple things I had heard, he needs to practice Monday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But if you watched that game yesterday, which we all did, like the Cardinals defensive line is toast. It's gassed. Bilal Nichols was out with personal reasons. You could never rely on Tomlinson and Campbell for the entire year. You needed other guys to help supplement. They're overly relying on those players. Word on the street is Darius is back this week. And then this is the big one. It sounds like the plan, of course, this can always change, so just don't hold my feet to the fire, is that Garrett Williams and Walter Nolan will be back after the bye, like shortly after the bye, which is good news. Like Garrett Williams, that looked like a season ender. It sounds like he'll be back soon. I will shoot my shot now. Walter Nolan practices this week for the first time. He is removed off of PUP. That is my loose prediction here on a Monday.
So that would have to go down Wednesday morning. So I would imagine JG is going to get in front of the media and say, we're opening the practice window for Walter Nolan, and probably need to open it up. Not necessarily for Garrett Williams, just because he's been in this system for going on his 3rd year. Right. So like they could get him back the week of and get him in the starting lineup that week against Dallas on Monday night. You've got a bonus. You got a bonus practice coming off the bye. Got an extra day with it being Monday Night Football. So a little extra runway there. But like for a guy like Walter Nolan, who missed the entirety of training camp, the last time we saw him was mandatory.
Yeah.
Before that, the last meaningful snaps he saw were in the Senior Bowl. And then before that, it's like December for Ole Miss. So that it's been a long time for Walter Nolan. So he's going to have to need a little bit more time to get in the football state. But look, good news. And when you talk about, Darius Robinson, I know people want to throw around the B word, the D-Rob. Last time we saw him, he was getting a sack before he suffered the pec injury. And what we saw, like where you've got 2 players now, Zach Carter, and then also Anthony Goodlow, who, they're flowers. I'll give it to them. They played admirably, but they're not, they don't have the pedigree of a first-round pick.
Right.
They don't have the upside. And all this depth on the defensive line has been so depleted that you had to elevate both of those guys. Now it's like, you will welcome Darius Robinson back and hope that he can make more of an impact. It's 26 overall pick. And then Bilal Nichols, like you'll welcome him as well. And you hope that you can get, something that looked better than you saw in his debut against Tennessee. But and then just kind of keep your defense's head above water before Walter Nolan returns, hopefully a couple weeks after the bye.
Yep. So that's encouraging. And it sounds like, they're caution, but it sound encouraged with Marv as well.
Seems like Marv it's just like he has to just go through this protocol. It just feels like he is at the beckoning of the protocol. And it sucks because it kept him out of the game. It should have been a big game, a big emotional game where his dad starred, and fortunately his head whips back and hits the turf, and it was a scary moment. But from everything that it looked like Marv went through the protocol and then still couldn't get in, and he's going to have to continue to do this throughout the week. I'm sure, maybe Wednesday he'll be out there in a yellow non-contact jersey if he can get that far. But it's unfortunate with Marv, especially when you saw, the downfield passing attack come into play. Like those plays that were going to Zay Jones probably would have been for Marvin Harrison Jr. And I want to hear people coming out and say, well, Marv would have dropped him or Marv would have done this. Marv's playing at a high clip. Marv would have made an impact in that game.
He was the highest rated PFF player offensively for the team before his injury.
The ball he got injured on, it was
behind him.
Yeah, he made that play. It was a tough catch. I'd say the last couple games, Marvin Harrison Jr. has been winning those 50-50 balls consistently.
I think he'll play this weekend. I mean, I'm not a neurologist. I'm not close to the situation in terms of there with him every day, but I would be surprised. I mean, he got knocked out of the Packer game last year and played the next week.
Yeah.
So I
Miles asking about Ojulari, at least commenting about Ojulari. He continues to be.
Haven't heard anything.
But here's the difference between Will Hernandez, who's now just he's a week and a year removed from his knee injury. It wasn't a same knee injury. They're not all created equal. Will, he had, it seemed like it was just pretty cut and dry. The knee injury that BJ Ojulari suffered back in training camp in 2024 was a significant knee injury, and it just is taking a little bit longer to get back from.
It's unfortunate, but you just can't count on him right now. But
right,
Walter Nolan, feel like this is the week. Knock on the biggest piece of wood you got. Garrett Williams' return is shortly after the bye, and then Darius Robinson, I think, will play this week, assuming that he can make it through practice.
Garrett is significant because when listening to Gannon's comments today, he actually he liked the pressure that they were getting. I know I saw the stat where Danny Dimes in the face of pressure was 9 for 9 with 90 yards passing.
Yeah.
He didn't like the cover ability yesterday. He liked the pressure. He didn't like the ability to cover. But you look at it, who's in coverage here? You've got poor Mac Wilson and ADG as kind of the primary defenders on a lot of these, a tip of the cap to the Colts, offensive brain trust for setting up those mismatches and them taking advantage of it. I mean, you got Akeem Davis-Gaither and Ty Warren going against Ty Warren and Josh Downs. It's you're not going to win that ever. Very rarely you're going to win those.
Akeem Davis-Gaither, the Cardinals' lowest-ranked defender via PFF yesterday, which is not a surprise if you watch the game. We're back around the corner. Bo and I are going to go through the remaining schedule for this team just to see how many wins are left for the Cardinals. 2-4. It's PHNX. Hit that like button. We put together a MHJ parlay yesterday that had a tough time. Let's just call it what it is, because he left the game. But you can always stay in the game with our friends at Bet365. Never ordinary. And here's the deal right now with both college and pro football. If your team goes up by 17 points, you got an instant straight payout. Again, download the app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365. Last season, both money lines were paid out 4 times because of early payout and the end result in the game. Again, Bet365 is hooking up new customers right now. Get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. Sign up, PHNX365, deposit 10 and place a bet of 5 to get 200 in bonus bets. Use it on player props, futures, spreads, totals, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary with Bet365. You have to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text next step to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
If you root for any of the local football teams, you took an L over the weekend, right? And you're probably trying to hide the tears that you cried over the last 2 days. Why not do it with some Shady Rays? Look good while you're down in the dumps, while you're downtrodden. Get yourself some premium polarized sunglasses that are great for all your venturing, even when it's, the sun's not out, you're still looking cool. Johnny likes to wear sunglasses at night when it's raining, sun's not out. And if you do as well, Shady Rays is built for it. It's unbelievable, and it's at a great price point. Seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. Swear by my Shady Rays. I love them. I've got multiple pairs, as does Johnny. So does Noah. We love them. And actually, You can wear them on hikes. You can wear them to concerts. You can wear them wherever you want. Shady Rays, the eyewear that has your back. Easy replacement. You can replace lost or stolen easily. Teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. ShadyRays.com. You can use the PHNX code 35% off those sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. ShadyRays.com. Use the code PHNX for 35% off.
Hit that like button quickly before we jump into the remaining schedule for the Arizona Cardinals. Brian Callahan fired today by the Tennessee Titans. His only win this season came against JG's Arizona Cardinals. The optics of this are especially bad. First of all, I'm happy for Tennessee fans. Guy looked over his skis. I'm unhappy for Tennessee fans because they have apparently implemented Mike McCoy as the interim coach, which is a fresh hell I don't want to experience. But all that to say,
yeah,
I mean, the Cardinals season, which you didn't think could get any worse, it continues to do so. After last week with JG in the news, DeMercado play, now that Tennessee basically, would they have fired him last weekend before the Raider game? I think so, if the Cardinals take care of business in that game. But the Cardinals frauded it up. I mean, this makes that loss last weekend worse by comparison, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's like multiple butterfly effects of that. They could have turned that game into a dub for the Cardinals. Like if Amario holds on to the football crossing the goal line, or Rabbit Taylor Demerson just holds on to the interception and doesn't fumble it for a touchdown to the Titans, either one of those plays goes your way, you're likely sending them home 0-5.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, after yesterday's loss, they're looking at a 3-3 record, and it completely changes kind of the complexion of where this season can go. But now it feels like this season is slipping out of your grasp with really nothing slowing it down. You've got a Green Bay Packers team coming to town, and you're just finding new ways to lose. The strength of your team has now cost you the game as far as the defense at the end of the Colts contest. It's just like you can't, you haven't put together a solid 60 minutes. What's giving the fan base, what's giving us, the analysts, the pundits, confidence that they can get a win? And it's like that was a catastrophic loss, and that's going to be a loss that's going to loom large deep into this season. No matter what happens, this is going to be a loss that the Arizona Cardinals are going to realize it was one of those games you just couldn't lose, and you found multiple ways to do it. And it's really just, it makes you sick. Like that game makes me sick to my stomach more than any I've ever covered with this team.
It's a loss that if they end up parting ways with this regime and Austin Ford and Gannon, that will be the linchpin, that they never got over it.
Yeah.
And we're using like short measuring sticks barometers, but like, glad they didn't quit yesterday. And I texted somebody and they said, you really thought they would quit? I'm like, well, did you watch their first defensive possession? But they didn't. They played hard. But the problem with that is, like, I don't really care how you lose in year 3 of a rebuild. I want to see wins. I want to see dubs. I want to see this team. We're watching the Detroit Lions on like their 10th nationally televised game. Like, do that, win, develop an identity, develop players, develop stars. It's just like, I feel like in a lot of ways, like, you stymie talent. You stymie the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s. You stymie stars. And then, I don't know, this is becoming routine for us every Monday for the better part of the last 14 games that they've played. They're 4-10 in those games. 7 straight losses to teams with winning records. It's just like, at some point, this is who they are. And, like, I want Jonathan Gannon to stick around. I want them to see their vision through. But I also feel like at the end, if they fall from grace this year and end up with a double-digit loss season, and we're going into January, and it's tough for this regime right now, what are they going to say that they do well? Why should we believe that they have the ability in an offseason to turn this around? That is going to be the hardest thing that Michael Bidwell has to come to grips with, is if we get to January and if this team's like 5-12, right? They win 3 more games, and they got to sit up there and do an end of the year presser, and they got to take all the arrows bowl from you and the rest of the Phoenix media, and you will bring the heat. It's just like, okay, guys, why is it going to be different next year in your 4th go around in a division that's out for blood? They're not going to have the answers right away. And that's going to be very disheartening for Cardinal fans to have to listen and endure.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to ask a coach to go find a play caller on the offensive side of the football that he entrusted for, too long, a guy that didn't set up his offense for success, right? So how is he going to go about it? What's the process? Who's involved as far as finding that? Like you look at the offensive line, like the first coach that he had to replace on that side of the football, he didn't have the ability to find somebody that was going to be able to kind of keep the status quo. Are you going to be able to find somebody that's going to be improving? And we talk about quarterback, like, are they going to be able to find, like, so far, Monty has, I give him credit for Jacoby Brissett. That seems like an easy one to make because he's kind of the quintessential backup in 2025. But before that, it was Desmond Ridder. Before that, it was Clayton Tune. Before that, it was, we're going to kick the tires on injured, rundown Colt McCoy and Josh Dobbs. So, like, you got to trust in these decision makers to go find the right coach and couple them with the right quarterback potentially. And it's just like, what gives you confidence that they can do that and that they're going to be available and then you're going to be able to lure them over, the multiple other teams that are going to be seeking the very same thing.
I'm going to acknowledge a comment here. I don't necessarily agree with it. We appreciate the comment regardless. Kyler Murray is Justin Fields. JG is Eberflus. And I think Jonathan Gannon is a culture builder, and I think he's built a culture. But it's not a culture of winning yet. And Brandon Staley, Eberflus, like, they have ties to Jonathan Gannon, and they coach differently. They're not the same people by any stretch of the imagination. But he is going to be placed in that bucket until he wins. And Brandon Staley had like 2 winning seasons. I mean, he made the playoffs. He blew a playoff game, but he made the playoffs. It's like, I think Staley is closer to like a Kingsbury in terms of like what he accomplished. And as far, Kyler Murray is a better player than Justin Fields, but my opinion is we are in the final days of Kyler Murray being a starter for this team based on how things have broken. There's not going to be anything that changes my mind, save for like a 10-game stretch where they ball out. But you and I are on the record, like, what gives you the confidence that's going to happen? Like, we are in the final days of Kyler Murray being the quarterback on the field of this team.
Yeah.
And then we're going to enter an offseason in which they trade him to another team, and then they have to start over at the position for the first time since 2019. And We'll have conversations then about promises not fulfilled on the coaching staff's end and Kyler Murray untapped potential. But, like, if you're a Kyler Murray fan, which I am, enjoy when he gets to play again for this team and the special plays that he can make, because it is over after this year. Like, unless they can put together a run, which I'm open to, nothing would suggest, based on what Benjamin Albright said. I mean, I do think it's very timely. We had Albright on this show last Monday, and he said they're not going to stick with Kyler Murray. And people got upset. And then Jacoby Brissett balls out this weekend, and it's just like the puzzle pieces do not connect with this regime and K1. But then you can ask the question, is this even the right regime?
Right. And we'll probably get a good sense of that with another week, potentially, with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And what that looks like. He's going to be going up against a pretty tough defense. He's going to be going up against, Green Bay that is a lot of nice players on that side of the football. So, like, asking him to put that together and back-to-back.
Very difficult.
It's but there is no running it back a third time, fourth time. It's just that the decision makers' hands will be tied and instructed like that. You can't do that. Like, you're going to stay in your place. You get to keep your job, but there needs to be changes in the way of wholesale changes, because the fan base isn't going to tolerate just tweaks, and it's going to be an off season of change on that side of the football, because it's going to be very likely viewed as the downfall of the 2025 season.
Hit that like button. We're going into overtime.
Pew, 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 pew.
All right, I tease it. We're going to hold off trending up, trending down, but I do want to bring up the Arizona Cardinals schedule. This is the remaining schedule. Noah Mann put this together. 2-4. The Cardinals have 11 games left. Packers this weekend. Then after the bye, Cowboys, Seahawks, Niners, Jags, Bucks, Rams, Texans, Falcons, Bengals, Rams again.
Yeah.
Now, I did this before the show. I went through this, and I found roughly 5 to 6 potential games that they could win, depending on guys coming back, how the passing game looks.
Right.
That's about it. Now, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. But I think at most, I see 6 more wins, and that would put them at 8-9. Realistically, though, it's probably around 3 or 4.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Cam Cox. We were walking in the facility today, and we were talking about, like, how many games do you have to win? I mean, you see the division taking care of business early on against the NFC South and the AFC South teams. And, like, we saw a Seahawks team last year, Johnny, that didn't make the playoffs with double-digit wins. Like, do you have to go 9-2 to make the playoffs down the stretch? At the very least, 8-3. I mean, how
I'm not even thinking.
daunting is that? I mean, people roll their eyes to death before they even would acknowledge a future of that. And, like, you're looking at it. I mean, Monday night against Dallas is just so Jekyll and Hyde. Their defense is so atrocious, but, you know, can you consistently score enough to keep up with their offense? You know, Jacksonville at home, it seems like that should be a good option for you. San Francisco, as they announced George Kittle's coming back, but San Francisco just keeps finding ways to win. You give them the benefit. Atlanta maybe at home. We'll see where Cincinnati is as far as, are they still having to start Joe Flacco? Just you're right. Like, right now is your forecast. It's looked like the last 4 days here in Phoenix, just bleak and drainy and drab and gross.
Yeah, I think they could beat the Cowboys. I actually think they could beat the Niners on November 16th. The Niners team, like, the injuries they're sustaining, like, those players aren't coming back. If you listen, like, Ayuk's not coming back, Fred Warner's not coming back, Nick Bosa's not coming back. They have a lot of, like, there's just no replacements. There's no cavalry coming. And that game was such a farce. Like, there are people thinking, like, Brock Purdy may not play the rest of this year. So I think the Cardinals could win that game. They're absolutely losing November 9th at Seattle until they show me otherwise. The winnable games: Cowboys, Niners.
That's the stretch right there. Like, this is where you have to do work from Monday Night Football to Week 17. Like, you have to do some heavy lifting.
Yeah, Cowboys, Niners, Jags, Texans, Falcons, Bengals. Those are the 6 winnable games. It's also going to be very damning if the Cardinals regress in the NFC West. And at this rate, like, I think you would put your money on, like, they're not going to go 500, 3-3 in the division after starting 0-2. They'd have to finish 3-1 in the division. Yeah. I mean, it was very difficult. So,
thanks for that exercise. It was really fun. Really brought up the vibes here.
I think we're going to keep doing it. I'm going to have Noah keep updating it, but they're not going to lose out. They're going to win a couple games. Hell, they may win a game they're not supposed to, but, like, you're talking about, like, 8-3 gets you in the playoffs. This is not a playoff team in any sense of the world. I mean, in any sense of the word. The Seahawks and the Rams, like, foundationally, are just on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, the Cardinals are not in their ballpark, and those are 2 playoff teams. Tampa's a playoff team. The Packers that you'll see this week, they're a playoff team. The Eagles are a playoff team. Like, we know what a playoff team looks like. The Cardinals have not played a good game all year. They've had 0 for 6. And, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep going back to this. They didn't look good entering the year. So does anybody think they're just going to flip a switch? We watched them in training camp, joint practices in the preseason. They looked bad. At times they looked average, and at times they looked really bad. Go look at the Bronco game that Drew Terrell called in Denver. It was an embarrassing game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I have not seen them look good. That's why Sunday is so disheartening, because, like, Jacoby Brissett got you 27 points, and you peed down your leg, and your defense was a joke.
Yeah.
It's like the Jerry Seinfeld meme. It's like, and he just gets up and walks out. It's like, until you can show me that you guys are the right people for the job. We're going to talk about this every week. I love JG and Monty Austin Ford. I will come on here and talk about all the accolades that they have and all the good stuff that they've done until your ears ring. You have a losing record. You're 14 and like 26 right now. That's awful.
Yeah, nothing tells you otherwise. Outside of a little run in the middle of last season where they were 2-4 and they needed to save their ass. Like because otherwise you were staring down another season that was going to be lost very early on. They go 2-4, they move from 2-4 to 6-4 going in the bye. It's like that's asking a lot for your team, especially when how the schedule stacks up.
So I read this. Did I read this last week or not? So the last, let me pull up this tweet here. This is not good podcasting. Everybody hit that like button. I'm not sure if I broke this down last week or not, but I think it bears repeating. So the Cardinals in the last segments of last year into this year, here are the teams that they've beaten dating back to the bye week last year. Okay, we all remember they went and they beat the Chargers. Remember on Monday Night Football, it was like 17-15, right? The Chargers had like no skill players, and then they came out of the bye and they had a really tough stretch, down the stretch. Here are the teams that the Arizona Cardinals beat, post bye week last year.
Yeah.
Okay, they beat, if you remember, they took care of business and they beat the New England Patriots, who fired their coach. Okay. They beat the Miami Dolphins, who fired their coach or is going to fire their coach. They beat the Chicago Bears, who fired their coach. They beat the New York Jets, who fired their coach. So I apologize. Right before the bye, into the bye. Mm-hmm. So they beat the Dolphins. Mike McDaniels is going to get fired. They beat the Jets and the Bears. Okay. There's 3 of their wins. And then post bye, okay, they beat the Patriots. They fired their coach, and then they beat the Niners, who fired their defensive coordinator. And that game, it was almost like a preseason game. The Niners didn't have any players. They started Josh Dobbs. Then you enter this season, and they beat the New Orleans Saints, who are a lot of people assume were the worst team in the NFL. And then they beat the Carolina Panthers, and that win is aging better. The Panthers are somehow 3-3. That's it. Panthers, Saints, Patriots, beat up Niner team, Jets, Bears, Dolphins. Those are their last several wins.
Right.
I mean, that is
their last quality win was against the Chargers.
Yeah. That was almost a year ago.
On an app game. Yeah. It was almost a year ago to their upcoming game against the Packers.
And nobody
that was week 7 in a gotta have it situation, and they were able to get it. They need something, they need that type of performance before they go in the bye week.
Let's jump into these super chats. Appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. I know there's dual Monday night games tonight, and you guys are choosing to stick with us, so we appreciate that. Listen, and Bo, you call me out. I don't mean to be negative.
Yeah. No, you love it.
I think it'd be disingenuous to come on here and be like, things are great. Everybody's job is safe. Kyler Murray will be here for 10 more years. It's just like, this is the NFL. I've watched this happen. It's October 13th. The season is imploded. And we have questions about Kyler Murray, like, can he throw the football downfield? Like you brought this on yourself as a franchise.
Right. You say that, but before the show, you're like, I'm in a good mood, but I'm just going to play it up for the audience.
I feel like yesterday's post-game show, I was just like in a haze. Cause I just like, it feels like 2023 again when they just lost every game.
Yeah. And that coming off of the Titans, I've been there since the Titans lost. Just because that was such a kick to the nether regions.
Yeah.
That you just knew that there was going to be almost no coming back from that.
Yeah, I don't think there is. And I think it's just going to, who is left standing in January?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the questions we're going to be asking. Brian, $5. Bo and JV doing double duty, watching the Cardinals pull a double duty, as in poop duty.
Where is that? You just reading? Where are you reading that from?
Right here.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Brian. Double duty. Let's start with Sean. How about Sean? $2. Who would you rather have next season, Clayton Adams or Jonathan Gannon?
I would say I would rather have JG, but I would rather have Clayton Adams than Drew Petzing. I don't know what kind of head coach Clayton Adams would be. I don't know if he's ever been a head coach. This is his first year as a coordinator, but it may not be up to me. I think he'll get interviews. So, and I'm happy for Clayton. Loso, $2. Trade for CJ Stroud. No chance that Houston makes him available. Zero chance. Because what are they going to do?
Right.
Like the difficult part, real quick, Bo, on the Darnold situation is like those kind of scenarios don't happen all that often. And the Seahawks saw a window and they took advantage because of their aggressive nature. Cardinals, they historically they acquire the Kevin Cobbs of the world, not the Sam Darnolds.
My guy is down so big. How about Desert Vulture? $5. Let's not get off task. Year 3 was about wins and losses. Drew Petzing, the offensive line, have issues. Jonathan Gannon supports him yet. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Green Bay pass rush Sunday.
2-5 is 2-5.
Right.
No one cares about stats. I don't care about stats. Win a game.
I just see what Lucas Van Ness is going to be out that game. Doesn't matter. Micah Parsons is going to play. He's going to be motivated because he's had a slow start to the season.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't care who the quarterback is. Put Slovis in there. I don't care. Win a game.
Don't put that. How about Arizona Cardinals? $4.99. Always have been a Kyler supporter, but it's become clear that the Oompa Loompa build is not cohesive to playing quarterback in the NFL.
Come on, guys. There's a way to say, and I appreciate the super chat. There's a way to say, like, I think I'm ready for the Kyler Murray era to be over. And yesterday was not a good look for K1, given how Jacoby Brissett threw the ball downfield, without saying that he is what you call them, smaller stature. But I've been around Kyler. Kyler's a stout guy, but it's just, this is the beginning of the end. So people who are anti-Kyler Murray, you can do your victory lap because this is the beginning of the end.
Alex, $4.99. Hopefully more respectful super chat. While watching Brissett, there were a lot of plays where I wondered if Kyler would have seen the same thing or made the same decision.
That's the only reason why, Alex, like if Brissett continues to drive the ball downfield, that's the only reason why like they would hesitate going back to Kyler Murray. I think Jacoby Brissett, like if Jacoby Brissett has another game like he just had this weekend against the Packers, like it wouldn't shock me if he's the starter against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just deferring to the fact that like I think he's going to regress this week. I'm not rooting for it.
It'd really be fascinating to see if they go back to Kyler and then the offense reverts back to its ways the first 5 games, and then at some point they just put Jacoby back in there.
At that point, you're just
that would be a definitive benching. And I don't think the organization wants to do that. So
at that point, though, like, I put this on Twitter, like you're 2-5,
right? Let's
be 2-15 and get a top quarterback and reset this bad boy for real. I told somebody recently because they were like, this is tough. We're already almost halfway through this BITC. You know what? We're already almost halfway through this. Now we can just get to the finish line here, November, December. If they stink all the way through. Follow the Jets' coattails and get one of the top 2 quarterbacks next year. Don't win 6-7 games on the back end against bad teams and then be like, guess what? Jacoby, you're our guy in 2026. It's like, oh.
Michael, $1.99. Johnny, how much of an indictment is it that lowly Raiders beat the Titans?
Huge.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon did not need that today. This has been probably, Gannon had threats against his family from sicko Eagle fans. So he's built for this and he doesn't pay attention to the media, but you lost to the coach that was fired that everybody thinks is a joke. And yes, it took a series of fluky plays to happen, but the loss is, you have to wear that loss. I was just like, hey guys, when do you think you're going to start winning games again? Like that would be the question I would hypothetically ask him. He wouldn't answer, and that's disrespectful. But it's like, hey guys, we'd love to know in year 3 of your rebuild with the players that you hand selected, you're going to decide that enough is enough, and you're going to outcoach people and win a game.
Well, it has to start as soon as.
Is it? I don't know. Does it?
It hasn't been yesterday. It has to be this upcoming week, and in the week after that, whenever that you have to find a way. It doesn't matter what your records are. Or Yeah, what the bet, the who the favorite is in the game. You have to find a way to get a win. You have to stop the bleeding on this.
When is it enough for Budda Baker to make a pick six? When is it enough for the Cardinals not to immediately give a takeaway back to the other team? When is it enough to not blow coverages? It's just like, this is my theme for the rest of the season. I don't care who plays. I don't care who starts. Win a game.
Right.
I don't want to hear excuses. Niners are winning games.
Mac Wilson on Josh Downs. Good. It doesn't matter.
Davis Gaither isn't a starting player. You picked in free agency. You said, I want that guy. Really? Yeah. The guy who's a career special teamer whose defenses were bad? Lou Anarumo. You don't think Lou Anarumo went in that game yesterday and said, 27, get his ass in space. Put a running back or a wide out on 27 because he had him in Cincinnati.
Right.
I just
Jonathan Taylor, go full Cam Scatteraboo on 27. Just seek him out because it's easier than just running through open rush lanes. Miles Johnson, $5. Gannon coaching staff and Monty is too conservative to be successful in the NFL. You got to be aggressive, risk it to get the biscuit.
There's no risk with this team. They're risk averse. And they were risk averse in the offseason. That's what bit them in the ass, Miles. The Seattle Seahawks were playing the craps tables. They were at the blackjack table. They said, Geno Smith, we're pushing aside. We're going all in with a new coordinator and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, third in the NFL in QBR, 11 passing touchdowns. It looked unbelievable. And I hate on Sam. He saw ghosts. I think he's got a ceiling when you reach the playoffs. But, brother, I would do anything to get back to the postseason with this franchise that's 9-19 and what did I put? 19-43 in their last 62 games. It's like, take a risk for once. Try something.
Well, they also saw they coupled the quarterback with the coordinator too. It wasn't just like, hey, we got a new coordinator and we like him. We like the quarterback too. It's like it was a great match between Darnold.
What about Drew and Kyler? Are they a great match?
Darth Vader 499. Do you think losing all his tight ends made Drew change his game plan? Can't run 12-13 personnel.
To some degree, sure. But like this is the team now. You don't have Trey Benson, you don't have James Conner, you don't have multiple tight ends. Your offensive line isn't what it used to be. So like, here's the thing, Darth Vader, when Kyler Murray gets back in the lineup, we better see chunk plays in the passing game. Right? Like that has to be.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to go backwards.
Do you think Kyler Murray was stewing yesterday? Do you think he was furious what he was watching?
No, I don't think so.
How do you think he watched that game yesterday?
I have no idea.
Do you think he watched that and said and took things away from the game, from Jacoby's performance that he could apply to his own game?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
You won't speculate. You're just
I'm trying to. Okay, I'll be respectful and say, like, if we have to sit here and he's almost 30 and you're stewing after a Jacoby Brissett performance, like, oh yeah, maybe I should implement some of that, then it's over. If you're Jackson Dart and you watch Russell Wilson, you're like, okay, don't do those things. But if you're Kyler Murray and like I thought like Jacoby Brissett was going to be good for Kyler Murray, like in the offseason.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that I think needs to be pointed out. And this is a byproduct of Austin Ford's, inability to add to that room. Kyler Murray was never really like pushed, or Kyler Murray was never really challenged because they had Clayton Tune, practice squad Green Bayer in the room with him for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you had questions about this guy, or if you had questions about not him as a person, but his ability to run your offense, then get somebody that can run your flipping offense. Don't grandfather in a 5th round rookie just to hang out for 2 years in your QB room. This is all an indictment of how they handled it. And somebody put in the chat earlier, it's like, do I trust these guys to develop a top 10 quarterback? I don't know. I don't feel great about it.
Right.
You feel good about it? You're going to get Joe Blow coordinator in January to trust a franchise quarterback with. Nice job, guys. Really great work the last couple of years.
Monty Austinfort's burner. Sorry, I asked. It's clearly the staff. Like, why can't we make Kyler better?
We're not going to find out. We'll never know. Here, Kyler and Drew will be gone after this year. Maybe JG and Austinfort, but definitely Kyler and Drew. And you'll be able to watch Kyler play somewhere else next year, and we'll see how it looks. But I mean, I can't. I'm done playing hypotheticals with this with Drew and Kyler Murray. Like I've seen Drew and Kyler Murray. They're not a fit for each other. And the unfortunate part is that Drew is easy to pivot off of. Kyler Murray is like that's a big move for your franchise to make without having somebody else. Like Jacoby Brissett is not the answer for 2026. He's not. Who are you going to get? Like realistically, we're going to have these conversations. This is going to be a banner offseason on this show. You want to subscribe. Every day we're going to be in the trenches taking grenades. Who's starting for this team in 2026? Some kid from Indiana? Some kid. Hey, what's his name?
Mendoza?
Hey, Mendoza. Can you play in the NFC West? It's kind of like the Big Ten. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah, maybe bringing Signetti and Mendoza is a duo. I win. Google me. Oh, yeah? Meet Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDonald.
You're dead. You're dead in 5 minutes.
You don't get to face Northwestern.
Siggs and Mendoza to the NFC West. Cardinals back in the top 10. Siggs is like, this is your facility? Shut up. YouTube user Shaft. The sky's not falling. We've been in every game, and we could easily be 6-0 or 0-6. We're the only NFL team that has been in one-score games each of the first 6 weeks. We're close to turning the page. I appreciate the optimism. I think the Cardinals are losing to teams with inferior talent, and that is the most difficult part to grasp. One-score games against the Titans, bro. One-score games against Mac Jones. Good teams are like, we're going to stomp a mud hole in your ass. Bruce Arians is like, we'll put up 40 points against you, Packers, in prime time in 2015. Right. Cardinals are like, we lost a one-score game against the Titans. We're close. No, you're not.
Right. No, you watching the performances, it feels like hey, we're just one play away. It's like the offense was on the struggle bus for 5 consecutive weeks. Like they didn't put together one good performance where you're saying, hey, they can parlay this into something and go on a run. Like I understand it. Like they could very well be 6-0, but they are the furthest thing away from a 6-0 team. It's just, it doesn't feel like that. But look, that's why I look at it and I scoff at people saying that they can't, this is a 4-win team. Like they're better than that. They've played better than that. They've been in games more so than those 4-win teams usually are. But they gotta start by winning a game. Like it's just that's the only way you win back-to-back games. It's the only way you can string together a winning streak. You have to win a game, and they haven't done it in 4 consecutive weeks.
You lost to a guy who will never ever be a head coach again in the NFL. May never be a coordinator again.
Right.
2 members. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys slumming it with us. You knew it was going to be ugly today. Jeff, you the newest member, Jeff. And we got Desert Vulture. Thank you so much, Desert Vulture, becoming a YouTube member. Everybody, hit that join button. Become a YouTube member. Because here's the thing. You get access to the plethora of emojis in the chat, which now features my co-host.
What the hell, guys?
Yeah, I love that. That's so appropriate.
Can you, Noah, put up Classy Nasty's most recent one. Let's get it up there. It's not a super chat, but let's see the new emoji.
I need to see it. Here, I got it.
Yeah, that's it right there. Oh God, who okayed this?
I love it.
Now that like you've taken all the flack because of the chug emoji, I kind of think it's dumb. I don't like it. I think the emoji thing is played out.
Face palm it, baby. We're gonna be doing some member only streams. Here's I've told this story before. I think it bears repeating. So in the off season, Bo and I go with Noah to the Combine and to Super Bowl. And they're long weeks and we have a blast. And this year was going to be the first year we're like, maybe we'll just do like 48 hours at the Combine. Some of our sister companies like DNVR, they're there and then they leave. They talk to Sean Payton. We'll just talk to JG. We'll do our JG stand-up, our interview. We'll talk to Monty. And then we'll dip out. We usually get there about Sunday. We're going to dip out about Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Bo said, though, the quarterbacks talk on Friday, but hopefully we won't need a quarterback. We're looking at Sunday to Saturday in Indianapolis this year, because we're going to have to wait for the Mendozas of the world to speak at the podium as this team has a top 10 draft pick. You've cursed us, my friend.
You think Fernando Mendoza, you think he'll work out? You don't think his resume speaks for itself and he's just he's not going to work out in his skivvies in front of everybody?
I want to see some people throw. We're going to have to We are about a month away from having a quarterback big board on this show. If people want to get gross, we're about a month away from that. You can't even
We got another new member, Castile Fitness. Love that.
Get your fitness in, Castile. Top QB draft prospects 2026. Should I run through them right now?
Please.
Fernando Mendoza, Lenora Sellers, Dante Moore, not Arch.
Dante Moore had a rough game against Indiana.
The kid out of Oklahoma, no thanks, John Maytier.
Mm-hmm. But hey, did you see how bad their offense looked without him?
Yeah, that was bad. No Arch Manning, Carson Beck, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, I would imagine comes back, maybe not. Cade Klubnik, Ty Simpson.
Aller maybe transfers?
Maybe.
There's no way he goes in the draft.
Yeah, he transfers. Ty Simpson, and then, of course, Sam Levitt. Now, Sam Levitt's injury this weekend, does he play? Does he not play? If he misses a bunch of time, I had somebody tell me recently they think he could come back next year. So, Cardinals need about 4. If they're picking the top 10, they need about 4 quarterbacks worth their salt.
Yeah,
so we'll see. But we're going to be covering it all because this team loves to hurt us.
Is Fernando Mendoza going to galvanize a franchise?
I mean, I like it. I like his tools.
Do you?
He's 6'5". You watch him.
Came from Cal to Indiana.
Here's why I think I like him the most. He's winning in Indiana. He's 6'5" and has thrown 17 touchdowns in 6 games at Indiana. Now, I don't know if this is sustainable, and he probably had his like kind of most average game against Oregon. He was kind of directing traffic, and the run game dominated for Indiana. If you watch that
I'm
game,
more impressed by Surratt, though, at wide receiver than I am Mendoza. I mean, not saying that they're in the market for a wide receiver, but like I think he boosts up Mendoza's stat line.
If Jonathan Gannon is still the head coach and they have an idea of if Jonathan Gannon's the head coach and Kevin Stefanski's the offensive coordinator, I could see them really liking Mendoza. This is where we're at.
There's just no juice. There's just no juice to Mendoza.
Yes, there is. He's huge. You don't like him?
No.
You think he's got like a punchable face? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? He's and like I'll give credit to Flacco, but he gives me like Flacco vibes. A little bit more of an athletic Flacco.
Flacco's playing. He's 40 years old.
I know.
Mendoza would be, you can't argue this, the ultimate pivot antithesis of Kyler Murray, where it's like, let's get this guy who's like built like a pencil.
You know, Monty loves it. Like we know Monty has his type.
I'm sure they would love Mendoza. 6'5", 225. How's his arm? I don't know. Here's what I don't want to go through, though. Any quarterback that they select, you got to be over 6'1", 6'2" for me.
Right.
I want to do this again.
I don't know if there's any like undersized guys in this draft. I mean, I like Moore's a little bit. He's probably what, 6'1"?
No, he's 6'3".
Is he really?
How big is Sellers? Is big, isn't he?
Sellers is real big. I like Sellers. I like his skill set.
See, he's about 6'4", 6'3", 240, 235.
Yeah, that's like Dante Culpepper size right there.
What about Arch Manning?
Don't you think he's got to go back?
Not Arch Manning. Excuse me. Carson Beck. I'm sorry. What about Carson Beck?
No. He's got like the what's the character from Bo Callahan from Draft Day? Like he dated that influencer and she dogged him, said he doesn't have any friends.
Nussmeier.
Is that too far?
No, it's good.
They were in overtime here, guys.
Yeah. Nussmeier is right around 6'1", I thought he was bigger.
His dad's the OC for the Saints. Knows a little bit about the pro game. I mean,
here's what I like about
LSU churns out quarterbacks.
Nussmeier. He's been in college for 5 years, so like, he's probably gonna be ready to play.
Yeah, I'm not a big Nussmeier guy though.
You're not? Okay. Mm-hmm. Would you have Levitt or Nussmeier?
Levitt.
Yeah, but like, am I taking Sam Levitt? Like, where am I taking him?
Top 10.
Probably not.
Any of these guys, you're taking top 10. You're getting a fifth-year option. You can't play the game.
I would take Levitt in like a Jackson Dart spot.
What if you got the wide receiver from ASU, and then came out and got Levitt in like the 20s?
Say it again.
What if you got who's Jordan Tyson?
Yeah, would have been.
What if you got him in the top 10 and then you came back and got Levitt in the 20s?
I love it. Fantasy
That's what this franchise needs, something like that. And they blew it. You could have had Scat to go with those guys. Charlie Sinclair, $4.99 super chat. Does this offensive success make you think Drew Petzing isn't the problem? It's been Kyler the whole time. Makes sense why JG has stood by him. We're going to have that conversation if he continues to produce, Charlie. Bo and I are very cynical that Drew can keep this going. Here's what I'll say. You've run out of time regardless. Like, there's a very slim chance, Bo, that they can run back Drew Petzing in January, especially like if Kyler comes back and the offense is bad. It's like we need a clean. I need a palate cleanser of all this. None of this needs to be in my life in 2026. Nothing.
Right. No doubt about it.
Let Drew go get an OC job somewhere else and prove himself. But I'm not. Right. It's not happening here. No thanks. I'm not buying what you're selling, Drew. No more.
Unbelievable show. I can't believe what has come of this season so far. We're already starting to look at quarterbacks in the 2026 draft. I think I saw our guy Fran Duffy reached out. He was doing a wellness check, or he was telling us that his big board was going to be ready. I think a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Can't wait to get on the same page with Fran. There's nobody that does it better as far as the draft analysis. So look for his work going up. Go PHNX.com. Sign up to become a diehard today. We've got a deal that's just about to end. Take advantage of it, but make sure you subscribe to PHNX Sports. Our run to 50K, it's going to be here before you know it, and we appreciate anybody that hits that subscribe button and likes this video. More cards tomorrow, as we'll hear from Drew Petzing. We'll hear from Nick Rollis, and we'll have the sights and sounds from the Cardinals facility and so much more. For Johnny Venerable, our guy Noah, I'm Bo Brack. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 4:30 right here, PHNX Cards.
We all silly like the mayor.